Hello, my beautiful people. Sorry, I had that on mute if it delayed for a few seconds. So I really don't know how I'm gonna make this solo because I just wanted to jump on here and sometimes I like to do stuff unscripted when I say, I haven't written things out. Um, I like to do this sometimes, but we'll see how it goes since my best work is when I actually do write things out to prepare for a show. So, this is something I have not talked about before. There's lots of things I haven't talked about. I know I talk about a lot of relationships and personal struggles and all those sorts of things. And this could actually be maybe considered a personal struggle, but I was thinking about my daily uncensored and unfiltered. I called it something like that. And I was like, what have I put on there that's really been that to say like uncensored, right? Is it saying fuck or whatever it is? And basically, this is a place for me to be not only totally and completely myself, I'm always myself, but I just talk about more random things that I don't, have necessarily these talks with guests or even in my solos, right? Just stuff that there's just so much material in my mind and funny stuff and just comedy that goes on in my life and that I create, seems like with myself or with other people. So I was thinking about, okay, so what made me think about this is that so the couple of, one or two people that I hang out with, my that I call my homegirls that I've known for years. Sometimes we don't see each other very often. My one mom friend, well, a couple of them, yeah, are moms, just that I've, known for a very long time. And so when I want to go to things and I want to ask somebody that I think will enjoy it, right? Sometimes just certain people aren't available. And hence, this is the part of learning to do things, by ourselves. And I've gotten really good at that. And with my availability and just I can go do shit, right? So I will ask, so two of the people, and this was most recently two that I go and hang out with, I would say, I don't know to say that they are everyday weed smokers, but if not every day, most of the time, and not every time I see them, but the past couple times it's been like that, right? So normally with them, what's really funny in general, I am usually the one who talks a lot, right? And which is interesting because I've never been like this, after age 35 with the self-defense thing. And so because I'm talking so much and also get so exhausted, and also of the shit talking, I'll just be like, I can tell when they're talking to me, right? And like maybe they're not paying attention. So now I'm full on saying, and it cracks their shit up. I'm all, should I stop talking? Are you just like high as fuck right now? And it makes me laugh because okay, so I haven't talked about that part, but I also haven't talked about my side of just what I think about drugs in general and things like that. Other than people may be thinking, I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking because of my material and I'm serious and whatever that I've never done any of that stuff or anything. So without getting into too many stories, I actually don't have very many stories. Because in high school, my friend, the two friends or whatever I had, any little bit of drinking that we did was basically in our house, like in the basement, and being dumb and being stupid, kind of like the Jackass show. For those of you who have ever watched it before, the skateboarders, couple people from actually Pennsylvania. So when we grow up in the country, you have to, and you don't have a car, you have to get really creative with the things you do. Okay, so but I did so my experience is that I would say in general overall I'm a defect when it comes to any sort of drugs. And not only I don't like having a lack of control of what's going on and you just have to wait. I don't, and I guess I've had like maybe guys like some bad experiences even with weed, like hallucinating, and that wasn't just from a random stranger I got. So anyway, my experience has been though that my go-tos for either, I guess I've never had to calm myself necessarily, let's just say with weed, because it just makes me feel stupid. And and dumb and slows down motor functions. And I personally don't like that. And then as far as drinking, um, I haven't even my whole life even drank very much. And I guess it was socially. And so the 1.5 drinks, even to this day, is good enough. So I don't really have any great stories from that. So, but this comment today, so anyway, going back to that being said, I do think I'm a defect and haven't tried very many things. And I guess I'm just, I don't know, I'm just, what's the word? It's not of a naive. I just never had an interest, didn't like that wasn't a go-to to escape the world. Lots of people do that with different types of addictions, but I guess I just had some sort of a different, I guess, path, because I look at what I've been through, different things, with my mom and just my family situation, and doing my own forms of alternative therapy. Just hearing somebody say, I'm pretty well rounded from when I came from. I guess I don't know. I just like, well, what like what do other people do? For me as an adult, hearing people that use alcohol or drugs or have other addictions, or sex addiction or gambling addiction, all these things, I was kind of like, I wonder why like that never really happened to me on that end, right? So dealing with a lot of rejection and self-worth issues, definitely I would have thought that something like that would have happened to me. um, that I would have used one of those sorts of things. um, so that is what inspired me for this show, because literally every time I've hung out with them, like that's what I feel like. And then the one friend was like, um, no, and I actually can remember everything. And all the details, and the other one just laughs all the time and smiles, and it's cute. And then that makes me think, hey, maybe I should do that more, because then I can like laugh like that. But it doesn't do that to me, but alcohol does. So I do every once in a while like to have a drink. Right now my drink, um, every once in a while. And yeah, I kind of go back and forth with drinks. So I just wanted to share that with you all on here. I know sometimes when people listen to me, maybe they're like, why is she sharing that? Or she shares so much. Like, I don't even know really what people thinking. It doesn't really matter. I think back in the day, just so much fear of judgment of things. But I think there are people like me, and there are a lot of people like me, where I'm definitely very professional when it comes to like executing, my different shows in serious topics in mental health. And even when I'm meeting people, and I really do take, I do take that all of that stuff really seriously, but I'm also a real person. And I've always been like this, and I've never thought that these areas of my life that I've grown in, such as being assertive and learning about boundary setting and feeling like with coaching, I'm teaching. Um, I never think that I'm better than anybody, nor that I know anything, know everything. So I think there are people out there then again can appear a certain way, as though they are not a real person who has their different issues and different things going on. But that kind of covers the area of like the whole drug and alcohol sort of a thing that I think is hilarious, which in a way, yeah, I can't really, I guess, relate to them in some senses. Um, and it doesn't mean I won't, I guess, do those. The weed thing I just had, it just, the hallucinating, like, this happened, I think, like 20 years ago. It was about, like, after those sorts of experiences, and also the slowing down of my motor, like, function and motor skills, I didn't like it. So to actually even be able to enjoy it, I think I'd rather have the whole laughing that comes along with drinking. But I could also see how people really get into that, and well, either one of them, if it is a means of escaping. I never said, I was definitely have never said don't do any of those things, and I don't judge anybody that does any of it. I just have observed, like, wow, quite a few people do that. And definitely in my 20s, I did hang out with the few girls that I liked. That did do that, and they weren't like heavily into it, but I've always been, surrounded by it, of course, and had different types of friends um, that you just kind of see, and sometimes the friends, right? Maybe, I mean, the people you're with at the time, everybody's drinking around you, so I'm the DD, or I'm the one saying I'm staying home and reading, or making feather clips, or working, or doing my Krav Maga or Muay Thai or something like that. So it's funny. Yes, I was that kind of a nerd. So I just wanted to share that with you all on here. That popped up because it just happened recently, and had my very good time recently at a J-Boog and Kaz Haley, kind of like a concert thing at this park outside of Sacramento, and that was exciting. And I've been meaning to see him for years. J-Boog, he usually comes to Grass Valley, which is like an hour away, but me making a dedicating myself to just booking these fun things and just doing it, right? So I will talk to you guys next time. I'm working on definitely material all the time, but taking breaks here and there. So if you don't hear from me, that's what's going on. Sometimes I feel like it's a time of silence, but not, if that makes sense. Like, it's like, I feel like I need to be silent, um, in terms of getting on here, but it doesn't mean I'm not thinking, or I'm not writing, or I'm not designing something. So it was nice chatting with you, and I will see you in the next video. And that's all I'm gonna say, because I was only gonna talk about a lesson from this episode, but that's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.